Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Vindi Shafira, ID number 19029118. In this video, I will explain about my product in Geogebra. The topic is quadratic function. First, I put basic competencies, which is 3.4 and 4.4. And the indicators of the competence achievement, learning objective. After that, I also build the instruction. In this product, I give the PDF that is related to quadratic function, so the students can read it first, the material from this file. I also built the video that is useful to finish this worksheet. The video includes the tools function in Geogebra applet, especially for the quadratic function. Next, I give some material questions and then determine the value of A, B, and C from the quadratic function. In activity 1, I provided an applet with 3 types of graph of quadratic function. I made 3 types of graph to make it easier for students to understand the change that occur in the graph when the coefficient of the quadratic function change. I'll also ask students to give the conclusion from the given graphs. I hope the students can answer the effect of the coefficient of quadratic function on the graph of quadratic function correctly. In problem 2, I gave an applet in which the applet can show the axis of symmetry of the graph of a quadratic function. I also provided a blank applet so students could grab their own quadratic function and ask them to determine the axis of symmetry of the graph of the quadratic function using this applet. In problem 3, I gave an applet in which the applet can show the discriminant of the graph of the quadratic function. I gave a blank applet again and asked students to grab the quadratic function and determine the discriminant of using the applet. In problem 4, I gave a blank applet and asked students to determine the optimum point of their quadratic function. In question 4, I didn't give an example of how to determine the optimum point of a graph of quadratic function. I want to see if students can explore GeoGebra and find the fastest way to solve a given problem. I also gave an open question from the graph Zamat, namely determine the optimum value of the graph you created. If students cannot figure out how to determine the optimum point of a quadratic function using the applet, they still answer the question manually and answer the question. Next to activity 2. I gave several multiple choice questions. There are 3 questions. This is intended to strengthen students' understanding of the quadratic function material. In activity 3, I asked students to determine the axis of symmetry, the discriminant, and the optimum value of quadratic function that I had determined. This is also for strengthening students in using Geogebra and understanding the material for quadratic functions. So that's all from me. Sorry for any mistakes. Thank you for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.